What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. Breaking news, Cleveland has decided to officially change their name from the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians, so we'll talk about that in just a moment. We're also going to bring up the fact that Yermín Mercedes had the shortest retirement in the history of professional sports. Yes, he is back in baseball. He is not retiring. We also have two breaking stories. We talked about one of them yesterday. Nelson Cruz is heading to the Tampa Bay Rays, but the Rays were not done just yet. They just traded Rich Hill, one of their better starting pitchers in 2021, to the New York Mets, so we're going to break all of that down right now. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to leave a like and subscribe, because this is the best place to be if you want to stay up to date on the game of baseball, as well as use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you want to save 20 bucks off your entire ticket order if you're going to any minor league games or major league games. Now, the first thing I want to bring up is the fact that Nelson Cruz was traded to the Tampa Bay Rays. I talked about that in yesterday's video, so if you want to get a more in-depth perspective, I'll put the card in the top right of the video. Now let's talk about the breaking story. Tampa Bay has traded away 3.67 ERA, 41-year-old Rich Hill to the New York Mets in exchange for Tommy Hunter and a Double-A catcher, Matt Dyer. So to me, I think that Tommy Hunter, he is going to be a solid bullpen piece for the Tampa Bay Rays, and that's all they really care about in Tampa Bay is an amazing bullpen. Now let's talk about what the Mets are getting. 41-year-old Dick Mountain, that's what they call him. That is his nickname. I did not come up with that. Do not judge me. Rich Hill, he has been very good for the Rays in 2021. I think that he is going to bolster that rotation. The Mets are currently in first place, and a lot of you guys just seem to forget that they also acquired Cookie Carrasco. Carlos Carrasco came on over with Francisco Lindor in the offseason trade, so he is going to be back in the next few weeks. So between Marcus Stroman, Jacob deGrom, you have all the other guys in that rotation, and now you're adding Carlos Carrasco and Rich Hill in the next few weeks. That's pretty solid. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you make of the Mets acquiring Rich Hill from the Rays, and then also the Rays acquiring Nelson Cruz in a pretty crazy trade in my opinion? He was probably the best hitter available in the trade market. So wow. The hot stove is about to get very hot. Now, before we talk about the Cleveland Guardians logo and name change, let's talk about Yermín Mercedes and the fact that he put the Yerminator nickname into full effect, because we know that the Terminator, his most famous line is "I'll be back," and that's essentially what the Yerminator did. He said, "I'll be back," as he announced he is basically a phoenix rising from the ashes. He is not going anywhere. He believes in himself, and Yermín Mercedes was back in uniform yesterday, and Tony La Russa told him he has a future in the big league. So there you go, Mercedes back in business. Honestly, that was one of the weirdest stories I have ever talked about on the channel. It reminded me of Domingo Germán about 6 or 7 months ago, or maybe it was a year ago, when he talked about retiring from the game, and then he came back like 2 days later. Very strange. Listen, I just want to say this right now. I am so happy that Cleveland decided to delay the name change announcement until this morning as opposed to yesterday, because Cleveland, they blew another lead against the Rays. We'll talk about that game in just a moment, but could you imagine if we blew a lead on top of the name change? I mean, that would have just been so much pain, and the legacy of us blowing leads would just be in full effect. But now with the Guardians, we kind of have a fresh start, if you want to call it that. Alright, so let's go ahead and show the Guardians name right here, and in just a few moments I am going to show the logo, but a lot of people are saying they only chose the name Guardians because it keeps the ending of Indians in the name. You have D-I-A-N-S, which is the final 4 letters of Indians, and also the final 4 letters in Guardians. Now, I just want to say right now that I don't mind the name change or the new logo. Now, a lot of people are saying it looks like a Minecraft logo or something from Mario Kart. To me, I am a fan of Cleveland baseball. When I think of my fondest memories of watching baseball, I'm thinking of Grady Sizemore, I'm thinking of Cliff Lee, of Travis Hafner, that walk-off grand slam versus Toronto. Those are the memories that come to my mind, and I don't think that Jose Ramirez is going through elbow injuries and busting his you-know-what for the Indians. I think that he is genuinely doing it for the city of Cleveland. I think he's doing it for the fans, so I'm under the impression that I don't care what the team name is or what the logo is. I just want a good baseball team. I want the players to play hard, and I want the fans to support that team. But apparently a logo and name change is too much for some grown adults on Twitter who are now crying and saying that they are going to cancel your season tickets. Hey, cancel them. That's fine with me. That means that more season tickets for the rest of us. Now, of course, I understand the idea of subjectivity, that everyone is going to have their own opinion. You are perfectly okay to dislike the name. You're perfectly okay to not like the new logo. That is completely fine with me. But when you're going out there and attacking other fans for saying, you know, it's not a terrible thing, I don't mind it, you're a terrible person in my opinion. Like, get off Twitter, go do something productive with your life. Don't be a loser. It's a name change. It's a logo. It is not going to affect your day-to-day routine. I promise you, everything's gonna be fine. Put your phone down, relax, and stop being a troll on Twitter, because it's just a logo. And this is coming from a diehard Cleveland fan. I absolutely live and breathe Cleveland baseball. I mean, I was crying after the 2016 World Series when we choked that 3-1 lead. But in my opinion, that was me showing passion, and I think there's a big difference between passion and delusion, okay? I think everyone who is crying on Twitter are delusional, and they're just being reactionary, as opposed to thinking, you know what, this is just an homage to the city of Cleveland and the guardians of traffic. And you can see right here that the statues have the little wing, so it's an homage to the city of Cleveland. I am cool with it. I don't really care, as long as Jose Ramirez wins MVP and Shane Bieber comes back healthy. I mean, who cares? We could be called the Purple Nurples and I would still support them. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the game from yesterday. It was just, I cannot believe that Tampa Bay decided to walk J-Ram in order to get to Franmil Reyes, who immediately blast his 17th home run of the season. And then we saw later in the game, Harold Ramirez, he shows off the speed in the 4th inning to make it 4-1. And Cal Quantrill, he has been very solid in back-to-back starts. But then horrible defense from Daniel the Jet Johnson. I mean, they might have to call him something else, because he had 2 botches over in right field that allowed the Tampa Bay Rays to score a few runs. And then James Karinchak, he blew it, which again is old news. That is what the Cleveland Indians did. Going forward, we are the guardians of leads, okay? We are not going to blow anything anytime soon. So that does it for the Cleveland news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Again, I would say you should reconsider your definition of fandom if you're on Twitter or any social media, you know, telling people to go die because they don't mind the Cleveland name and logo. So let's not do that. Anyways, let's move on to the other games from yesterday. We have the Red Sox walking off the Yankees as Tanner Houck had 8 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings pitched, but the defense, they put him down 1-0, unfortunately, and Jordan Montgomery goes 5 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts. DJ LeMahieu, let me knock on wood so I am not blamed for this, is now on a 32-game on-base streak. They take a 3-1 lead going into the 9th, and Chad Green turns into a Aroldis Chapman for a night. He blows it, and the Sox, they walk it off in the final innings. So the Yankees fall to 8 games back of the Boston Red Sox for first place, and this came on the same night that the Rays acquired Nelson Cruz, and the Red Sox are getting back Chris Sale in the next few weeks. So the Yankees, they better be on the phone trying to acquire talent, because they are not good enough to even make the wild card right now. The best team in baseball to begin the second half, the Detroit Tigers. They beat the Rangers 7-5 yesterday, courtesy of Eric Haas refusing to stop making baseballs his son. That was a weird reference, but I was just trying to say that he has basically become the daddy of baseballs lately, because he continues to rake. He hits a 3-run home run yesterday as Eli White of the Rangers shows off the elite speed, and he robs our boy Akil Baddoo over in left field. But then you have Zach Shore and Victor Reyes going back-to-back as Mike Fultonewicz is on pace to shatter the home runs allowed record for all of Major League history. I think the record is 52 by Bert Blyleven, and I think he's on pace for 60 at the moment. So the bullpen was a little bit shaky for Detroit, and they almost allow a comeback to happen for the Rangers. But Robbie Grossman, he drives in another later on in the game, and Gregory Soto, he shuts it down for his 11th save of the year, and the Tigers have the 5th best record in all of baseball since May 8th. So good for Detroit. The Braves versus the Phillies. This game can pretty much be summarized on one single swing. But before we do that, I want to talk about Freddie Freeman. He hits a single, and this turns into a wild play as Ozzie Albies scores. And I just want to mention that Freddie Freeman has not swung and missed in almost 2 weeks of baseball, which is crazy to say because a lot of people swing and miss a couple times in a single day. He hasn't done that in 2 weeks. Now, Dansby Swanson breaks out of the slump in grand fashion by hitting a grand slam. And then Orlando Arcia, who was red hot in the minors, he hits the 2nd home run of the season. And Charlie Morton was really good. 8 strikeouts on 2 earned runs in 6 innings. And both teams now improved to 47 and 48. So between the Braves and the Phillies, who is going to be the third place team? All right, let's talk about a few NL West teams. We have the Padres facing off against the Marlins. In my opinion, this is a must-win game for the San Diego Padres, so let's see what they can do. San Diego, they kind of play small ball, and they score 3 runs off a few singles, and Fernando Tatis Jr. secured his 23rd stolen base already of the season, which is #1 in the National League. He does that in the 5th, and that turns into a run after Manny Machado drives him in on a sacrifice fly. Blake Snell was himself yesterday, 1 earned run on 8 strikeouts in 6 innings, and Mark Melancon is 1 save away from 30 already on the season. He has been on fire. The Giants versus the Dodgers, the most important game in the last few weeks in my opinion, because like the Padres, they had to win yesterday. The Dodgers, they had to win this game just for momentum's sake. You have Mike Yastrzemski and Justin Turner trading RBIs in the 1st inning, and then Will Smith says boom goes the dynamite with a 2-run shot in the 4th inning, and Walker Buehler was cooking, firing on all cylinders. He almost goes 8 innings with 9 strikeouts, only allows 1 earned run. But then Kenley Jansen, he blows his 5th save on a terrible call from the umpire. Ruff, I know Giants fans are pretty passionate and they're crazy, especially when playing the Dodgers. Darren Ruff 1,000,000% swung, and he should have been called out. The game should have been over. But then Lamont Wade Jr. drives in the winning runs, and Jake McGee converts his 20th save of the year, and they move to 3 games ahead of the Dodgers in 1st place. Moving on over to the Cardinals versus the Cubs, we have Dylan Carlson heating up. Yes, please. His talent is through the roof. He has sky-high potential. And then Nolan Arenado follows it up with a 2-run home run, so he now has 19 home runs, 59 RBIs, and a 122 OPS plus. But he's a product of Coors Field. You have Kim dealing into the 4th, but that was before Jake Marisnick drives in 2 on this RBI double to the gap, and then O'Neill, he glides for a web gem in the 7th, and then Harrison Bader follows that up with a web gem of his own, and in my opinion, they might have the best defensive outfield in all of baseball. Carlson has been shaky, but he is known to make the flashy play, and he has a cannon with pretty good speed. You have Reyes with his 23rd save of the year. He gets a W for Kim, who has a .9 ERA in his last 5 starts. The final 2 games from yesterday, the Angels and the Twins, and then we have the A's facing off against the Mariners. Let's talk about the Angels real quick, because a fantastic relay cuts down Trevor Larnach earlier on in the game, and then the Angels, unfortunately, they can't capitalize on that. They go down 2-0. But then Captain Jack Merrifield, he delivers with a 3-run missile, and Andrew Heaney, he was able to settle down after allowing those 2 early runs. He goes 7 innings with 7 strikeouts, and Raisel Iglesias, he reaches the 20-save plateau. And the last but not least, the A's versus the Mariners. Oakland, they take a 2-0 lead against Greg Maddux. Chris Flexen has been an absolute unit over the last month. Murphy hits a home run in the 7th inning, and Sean Manaea was insane yesterday. He goes 7 innings on 1 earned run with 13 strikeouts. He was dominating yesterday. The A's, they put up 2 more runs in the 8th inning, and Louis Trevino, he is now up to 16 saves, and the Oakland A's are now just 2.5 games back of Houston after Houston lost the final game against Cleveland. So, hey, the A's, if they can pick up a DH and another starting pitcher, they can make some noise. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. We are on the road to 350,000 subs. Hopefully, we can get there in the next few weeks. Remember to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself $20 off your entire order. Let me know your thoughts on Yermín Mercedes, the Cleveland Guardians, Nelson Cruz, Rich Hill, and every other thing that we talked about today, including the Yankees blowing a lead in the final inning. Stay safe out there and enjoy this day in MLB history.
That ball hit deep into left center field. Wise back. Makes the catch! What a play! Wise makes the catch! What a play by Wise! Mercy!